It's a beautiful Monday morning and the beginning of a new week. Welcome to Ray's Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying? I'm overly excited to be back here. My name is Oluchi Omenk, and of course, I'm with the delectable God's Beauty Israel. Good
Hey,
morning,
hey, good
my
morning.
sister. How are
How are you?
you?
I'm beautiful. How are you?
Oh my God, what would I say? It's Monday, so let me start on a good vibe. I'm great. I'm happy. Can you imagine the words even? It failed me because maybe I'm not. Oh my God, it's been a very long weekend, and this Monday started with a bit of frustration,
I
but
mean,
thank God I'm here. I'm happy and I'm fine. Please, why is rain still falling in October? I need to ask nature that question because I really hate when I'm commuting and then there's rain. You know, there's a way it just scatters everything and
I feel
gets you
you.
all messy. That's what got me frustrated. It's not like any other serious thing happened. So imagine.
I've not actually always been a fan of rain. I love cold weather. At the same time, I don't like sun. I just like when rain is not falling, sun is not shining, everything is just,
Everywhere is
like that.
calm.
Yeah. But
Honestly.
again, this is not me trying to be probably superstitious or whatever. Probably one of the reasons why rain is still falling now is because probably during the time it's supposed to fall,
It did
a
not
lot of
fall.
people were holding
It's
it.
just how I don't know what's happening to the whole climate, whatever. Everything has
I
so changed.
changed,
We used to
yeah.
have August break, and August break was August break, where rain is not going to fall till
Yeah.
probably later. But now, have we had a
No, we're
Hamatan this
supposed to be
year?
exactly. You're supposed to be feeling the whole
Or maybe
cold.
this
Since
is
it's
the
like towards December and
pre-Hamatan
all.
season.
Probably, I don't know.
Honestly, the roads are not even looking nice at all. Just small rain. Everywhere is already
Everything messed
flooded.
up, yeah.
I need to get a car. That's the summary of the story.
Period.
But how
I've
was
been
your
saying
weekend?
that. I
How was your
mean,
weekend, my
it
dear?
was good. It came and it went, and yeah, it's Monday. How
Mine
about
was
you?
very lovely.
And
I
just me.
attended a competition, actually a conference for speakers, for female speakers, and I had one of the bestest time, if I can use that word.
I
I
love
also
it.
did something very daring. First time ever, not first time, I've done it before, but this time around I didn't have any community support to ginger me, so I was alone in the hall. But I went up to the stage and I participated in a competition, and I was one of the first runner up, and I got
Oh, that's
again.
beautiful. That's
So
cool.
yeah, that's how my weekend was. And then of course church. I had a great time in church as well on Sunday. And I'm here again, happy and bright, except for the rain. All right, so today we're discussing politics and governance. What a way to start our Monday, right? We're talking
Yeah.
about the accountability stuff, and we have an expert guest, a friend of the house, who'll be joining us to critically examine this. All right, if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please go to an official Upgrade TV, turn on the subscribe button, your notifications, be part of our conversation every single time. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look to the headlines across the Nigerian newspaper. Please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Two Ways Breakfast. Right now, let's look through the headlines across Nigerian newspaper. We have the Punch, the Guardian, and of course the New York Times. I'll be starting with the Punch paper. The major headline reads: Grid collapses 105 times in 10 years, despite $1.4 billion loan. Government fails to access additional $2.96 billion. World Bank approved electricity infrastructure loans. Buhari record 93 grid collapses, Tinubu 12. Insensate grid collapses worries NARC consumers. All right, the NSARS Memorial. Amnesty activists tackle police over protesters' harassment. The Super Eagles striker Boniface survives car crash in Germany. Foreign investors dump 355 billion naira stocks over forex crisis. Canada-based nurse two basemen nabbed for drug trafficking. Oyo Dam sacks Ogun Lagos communities as flood water rises. And above the major headline says the Ondo governorship poll, Ganduje, APC governors woo aggrieved aspirants for Ayedatiwa. INEC rejects PDP's request for state REC redeployment. Army debunks COAS death rumors, retires 15 generals, and petrol marketers import 123 million liters, continues talks with Dangote. Current insecurity worse than during my government, says Obasanjo. So, last week, it was still a deliberation, sort of, that the private marketers wanted to import. They said Dangote is not meeting up to the standard that he said he was going to do. And I thought it was a deliberation, only to find out in the Punch this morning that they've gone ahead to import 123 million liters, and they are still continuing talks with Dangote. So that's there are a lot of stories here. I mean, the grid collapse story again is resurfacing. We had the experience last week and maybe last week, right? And then we're seeing a breakdown. They are saying Buhari records 93 grid collapses, and I'm sure that's the two term in 8 years, 93. Yeah. Now, Tinubu is barely a year or about a year, and he's having 12.
It's a year now. I think,
if we should do the math, are we expecting more grid collapsing?
If they're using Aba-made products, I don't know what you're expecting.
But they said that they've collected loans of over $1.4 billion. So that means they've had money to probably fix whatever issue that should have occurred or is making us have this recurrent collapsing.
So because of we know the amount of loans that have been, accumulated and all of that, doesn't mean it's the same as the amounts that they're using to fix whatever that is spoiled.
For curiosity's sake, I'm wondering, let's say that something fishy is always going on.
And not always. Something will always happen.
The thing is that you cannot be so absolute with all these things. You just always have to use English to cover
up. Spade.
Okay, Madam Spade. Let's just say something fishy always goes on. Why are they then very accurate with the loans that they receive and put it out for us to see?
So that you know that they are not playing and they are really using money to make sure that they are doing these things very well. When we would know that, like you said, something fishy is definitely going on. I remember watching a video. I don't know if it was you saying that, but I watched the video and I was in agreement with that person. When the person was stating that if a particular amount of money is, budget now, say, okay, let us use it to build this road, right? As the person is carrying the money, the person has not even left the building. Only, there are different offices, right?
Offices,
for every step that the person takes, there's somebody collecting out from that box. So there's somebody collecting his or her own share. Do you get? Before the person will leave the compound and go to the road and say, okay, let's see the remaining amounts that would use to build it. You see that there's already little amount. And the person too will also collect, because it's from there too, the person will pay himself, right? When you not collect your own, then you not see what is left. Probably is one bag of cement, and you see them do the road anyhow. So, I mean, it is one thing to say that this is the certain amount. Of course, you want to tell us that you're doing the job. But, I mean, the job that you're doing is how long it lasts that will make us now be convinced that, okay, truly, this amount that you've budgeted to actually build this has actually gone into it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Very, very funny. All right, let's see what you have for the New York Times.
All right, so New York Times newspaper. This one is quite interesting. I must say so myself. All right, but the right side of the newspaper. No, there's Trump stuff, but there's this new lady that we don't know because, I mean, we're always talking about Harris and Trump, right? Yeah. But there's this lady called Jill Stein.
A candidate?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Honestly speaking.
Where should be not this far?
That is what I don't know, So that's why I feel like it's quite interesting. Let me even take off from that. Okay. And it said Jill Stein is a politician and a long-time member of the Green Party in the United States. She's best known for running as the Green Party's presidential candidate in 2012 and in 2016. As a third-party candidate, Jill platform has a focus on environmental issues, social justice, and reforming the political system to move away from corporate influence. Now, in the 2016 election, some critics accused her of taking away votes from the Democratic candidates. That's during Clinton's time, which they believe helped Donald Trump win. And despite this criticism and the opposition from even our own family, even our own family don't want her to run for office. So it's more like she's a one-man soldier on this one. And I feel like probably that's one of the reasons why she hasn't been in the newspapers. Right?
What of her party? She's not representing any party.
No, of course she's from a party now. What's the name of the party?
What's the party doing?
It's called Green Party. That's the name of the party, Green Party.
Is it new? Like
No, I don't think it's new. I think it's a party that have always been there. Just that they have like two major parties, which is like the Republican and the Democrats. Yeah, but they're actually up to like I think they have about 5 parties. When I was doing my research, there are about 5 parties. Yeah, and all of that, and all of them actually even stand for different things. Just like the way our own party focus on environmental.
The word green already
exactly.
gave me the hint. Yeah, climate change.
So yeah. So why we already know the 2 major that are more for them, you know, one is going for the whole Republic and all of that. But continuation to this story, right? So in I already said that. Now, despite this criticism, right, the opposition from even her own family, right, she has continued to run for president. Now, she remains committed to her platform, even in the face of pressure to step aside to avoid influencing another close election. Her decision to run again in 2024 has sparked concern from both major political parties, especially Democrats, who worry her candidacy will impact the outcome of the race between Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. Do you think she has a chance?
She doesn't have a chance.
The fact that Democrats is even a bit concerned about the fact that she's agreeing to run for office, I don't see a reason why they should be. I don't see a reason why they should be worried.
You know,
because
what's annoying from
okay, go on.
With elections generally across the world is I don't know why it's become it's more like a competition between people. It's no longer about service to the nation. It's about, in Nigeria, we know it's APC, PDP. In the United States, it's Republic, Democrats.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, I wish, maybe things would have been a bit better if we had more people that were actually in this game and stood equal chances. Do you understand? But I don't know why. But thankfully, this last presidential election in Nigeria, we saw the rise of Labour Party. Before then, I didn't used to hear of any Labour Party. But Labour Party I feel like stood a great chance.
I feel like that was because of the candidate that was in Labour Party. You know, he was in PDP.
Okay, true.
The fact that he left PDP and he went to Labour Party, that's also like another thing. So in as much as I don't know, I feel like
but haven't we had other candidates that left PDP or APC to go to other parties that are not that prominent?
Now, apart from the fact that he left PDP, right, you also had a footprint about the whole Anambra whatever, and that's why there was this go and verify and all of that, right? So, and again, if you listen to him speak, he actually speaks like the youth, right? So he's not coming from, this whole tribalism, whatever, it's our turn and all of that. It's coming from the aspect of, we are youth and we are like the leaders of tomorrow and all of that. So if you look at, the statistics, you see that's why it was more of like youth inclusion than, exactly.
So you're saying that if it was not him that...
Nah, I'm not sure it
Labour Party wouldn't have gotten that.
Nah, it would have still been... Who knows Labour Party, please?
But you know that, even with that, I think it was, Banky W now, for the, is it Etiosa? There was this election stuff he was doing on the island, and then he had a competitor. And I think he was for PDP, while the person was Labour Party, and that person won. The person is not as known as Banky W, but some people had their own theory that because he was Labour Party, and at that time everybody's Labour Party. The candidates
from Labour Party
that is why,
right.
So that means Peter Obi really did something to Labour Party.
Yeah,
I want to be seeing more parties come up with their candidates. So it's not just one two-party thing. Right?
Again, it depends on the parties. It depends on even the how many people know these parties. That's
so they should make
thing.
Themselves known.
Exactly.
Nobody will make you known than yourself.
God bless you.
If you have what it takes to offer.
This make me remember that I remember having a conversation with someone, and the person was saying that one problem that we have in this country is once it's election time, that's when you now see people campaigning. But now, and I feel like that's a strategy that I'm seeing Peter Obi do.
Yes,
to be honest. If
you're
on X, you will know.
The beginning.
Exactly.
He always has a comment to everything that is going on.
God bless you. Because, I think I was reading of recent, that's why we are speaking, the topic we'll be having today, right? About this old jet move and all of that. Every Eke market, everybody's traveling everywhere. But coming back to it, right? You see that for every time that there's something going on, he's saying something.
That's how to be top of mind.
That's how you have to be. That's how to stay relevant. Do you get what I'm saying? Even apart from that, which day was that they were dragging him? That why did he have to go to one of the northern states to build borehole there? Like, what is his business with that
Are you
place?
serious? I
Yes.
didn't hear that
How
one.
can you not hear that gist?
That's
Come
some
on now.
Igbo man moves over there.
So imagine. So I mean, till now, everybody in that locality
Still
would
on the
always
lips
have that
of
pit.
people.
Exactly. So it just happens like that, and I feel like that's one thing that all these politicians, like the ones that are yet knowing, that these political parties, they need to like step up their game.
Yes.
Because you cannot stay there and say, oh, nobody knows you. How would they know you when you're not giving us good strategy? You are just sitting down there when it's election period. That's when you stand up again. I think
Shomore also does something. I mean, he's always still on this.
that one too is doing well. But I'm talking about these political parties with their candidates, right? It's important that you are in the faces of people. I mean, see that strategy that I think one of the, let me not call names now, but where you, according to some persons, right, once you order something, somebody's coming in front of your door to give that to you.
Okay.
Imagine that is being done by one of these political parties that we don't know about. Trust me, people will start hearing it and it goes viral. It same goes to this what do they call that now? One of these Uber vehicle, right? How they had to put in some celebrities in the car. Yeah, I don't want to call them, but you understand what I am saying. So these are good strategies that you can actually accommodate, like work on it. So you don't sit down one place and say that, oh, nobody know you and all of that, when you're not even putting the right strategy on.
I want us to even, stop all this concentration on major political parties, APC, PDP. It's almost like, I mean, growing up, I didn't know that there were other parties in Nigeria. It's only broom and umbrella. We need to move up. All right, The Guardian has some interesting stories too. The federal government's budget in logjam as multiple appropriations seek attention. Only urgent NEC will avert implosion. PDP ex-officios members warn. How Buhari reversed Nigeria's 16-year economic gains by World Bank. Security heightens over IPOB's sit-at-home order. Minimum wage. Defaulting states may face industrial unrest in November. 20 million out-of-school children, potential Boko Haram recruits, Obasanjo warns. TAG Bank sets industry record, pays second dividend in 4 years. 4 years after Amnesty International sounds alarm over continued police abuses. 20 million out-of-school children is a lot of number. It is a whole lot of number. And I'm sure, let me not say I'm sure, not out of any sentiment, but the majority of this will be in the north. That's why Obasanjo can be warning that these are, if you don't hold these ones young, they are Boko Haram prospects. But honestly, we hope that things get better and education is given the due importance that it needs. You know, something here really amazes me. That's the major headline that talks about budgetary. And I remember talking this weekend with a health practitioner. He's really involved in health advocacy. And I was really shocked. Sometimes some of this news, you know, even though we read them, we might forget some of the details. And then he mentioned that for the health sector, do you know how much is allocated to them? It's about 2% to the health sector. And I'm like, really?
So what happens to the 98?
Goes into... I'm not gonna say.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say things that are gonna, you know what? But honestly, that's not good enough. I mean, how would we have? Health is very important. I think for this budgeting, whatever. What are your priorities? What are the most important things in the nation? Right? It's gonna be the economy, education, health, security, right, and all those things. But maybe we need to start revisiting this and. Just like as we're talking about accountability and transparency, let this be more transparent. Let us see what is being allocated for what. And the things that need more allocation should be addressed because 2% for health sounds like a misnomer.
I'm going to read. Let's not look like we're not putting
let's just
money.
Put something. You know what's 2%?
You know why? I remember watching a video around something like this too, and it was, so let me start with this. This journalist was asking, I can't remember. Okay, I think it's the Minister of Health, actually. And it's like, okay, so how do you feel with the fact that, you know, the president leaves the country, go outside the country, you know, to check up, all of those things, I mean, health-wise now. And the man is like, oh, you know, you cannot hold anybody or stop anybody from doing, what did you call it? Is it health tourism? And in my head, I'm like, what the hell is that? No, let's be for real.
Interesting.
Just like you said, you put 2% into the health sector. Why would you not go outside the country?
Exactly. I was telling that person that's the reason why we have these talents go abroad to use the talent for those people. I'm going to read this one, which I really like. It said, where is it now? I think I missed it. Okay, the minimum wage. Defaulting states may face industrial unrest in November. I'll just read the details and that will be all for today. It says, As October As the October deadline for states yet to begin implementation of the new 70,000 minimum wage draws near, organized labor has vowed to ensure that the state faced industrial unrest, adding that it will not take the situation lightly. And I really like this new one because, sometimes we're always very quick to put blame on the government, the federal government and all. Thankfully, we've had a new initiative that, even though it's not all that we wished for, but this is better than what we had before. Let us even start from that point. And it now starts that some states and some people still want to be slow in implementing it. So we've seen, authorities, the higher authorities are now saying that they would face unrest and they would be questioned if they do not accept it. It was in the other news the other day that private enterprises as well have to follow the 70,000 naira minimum wage. That's all we have. Wow, the newspaper is my most not interesting part of ways, but that's what it is. So we're going to take a short break now. When we return, our guest is ready to take us through accountability and transparency in politics. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Imagine the world where the voices of the youth finally get the spotlight they deserve.
Welcome to Ways Breakfast, the groundbreaking show where young minds unite together to tackle issues that truly matter.
We're flipping the script on traditional morning talk shows, and this is your chance to hear the youth speak out.
We're not just skimming headlines, we're diving deep into the heart of topics that impact us all.
From politics to governance, tech innovations, mental health, and trendy social issues.
We don't just discuss, we ignite conversations that inspire change and spark action.
Join us every morning for fresh, young, and vibrant perspectives
that empowers the next generation to make a difference.
Start your day right with Ways Breakfast, because when the youth speak, the world listens. Ways Breakfast, weekdays at 8 a.m. live on Upgrade TV.
Looking to take your business to the next level through partnerships? Then join us every Thursday at 10 a.m. for Partner Up.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, marketing, sales, or partnership professional, Partner Up is here to give you the tools you need to succeed.
From in-depth interviews with industry experts
to real-world case studies of successful partnership strategies that drive innovation and business growth.
we dive deep into what it takes to form successful partnerships.
Thursdays, 10 a.m.
Don't miss Partner Up.
If the foundations be
Is
bad,
faulty, what can the
what
righteous
can the
do?
righteous do? How do we start amending the foundation? And you talked about the Constitution. We've had so many constitutional amendments back and forth, and half the time they're for personal interest and not about we the people. So how do we go about it? Because you've also said we don't have the people. So how do we manufacture
You
them?
see, the collective ignorance in Nigeria is legendary, underestimated. People don't know, right? You see, it doesn't matter how determined you are. A billion fools coming together sincerely to take an action will take a foolish action. It doesn't matter how many they are or how they feel, how much they hate. Determination is not a strategy. Neither is anger, right? People have to learn to subject their feelings to reasoning and allow those reasoning to be guided by truth before they move to action. There's a lot of movement going on in Nigeria, but 99.9% of the time, it's a movement of emotion to action. The reasoning and truth is missing within the gap.
And no strategy.
Now, when you have a critical mass that are terribly ignorant, fearful, and opaque, because you see, you have to understand the character of the Nigerian. He is extremely hopeful. Extremely hopeful. Now, anything you are willing to tolerate will never change. Never.
Etiosa, where we are in. Etiosa's FAC allocation is about 698 million per month. Etiosa's estimated IGR per month is 1.6 billion. 1.6 plus 6, let's just say roughly 2.2 billion. You don't have water, you don't have public schools, primary healthcare is a sham, and you call interlocking tiles an express. Really?
What are the things that would make Nigeria an easy place to do business in?
I think the first place for me where I would start is actually brand Nigeria. There's something you said about made in Nigeria products. I remember many years ago when the sort of Buy Nigerian movement started, right? It didn't happen overnight, but there was a conscientious effort, right, to get people to think Buy Nigeria. But I don't think it transcended beyond maybe the fashion industry, that sort of, it was only in certain sectors where Buy Nigerian actually, was able to take root. But today, you don't have confidence that you want to go and buy a Nigeria-made car. I remember at one point when the ride-hailing companies, I don't know which one of them, there was a whole flood of those innocent, small cars. Yes. You don't see any of them on the road anymore. So somebody asked the question around durability. We all know what our roads are like. We all know what drivers on the roads are like. And people ask themselves, what is the longevity of these vehicles, right? You see really, really old, foreign brands still on the road, still moving. But these particular sets of cars, at one point, you couldn't turn to your left, to your right without seeing them. They were white, so you couldn't miss them. Today, I can't remember the last time I saw one of those cars on the road. And these things stick in people's minds, right, when people see these things. So the concept for me of what is the Nigerian brand, because that alone is powerful enough in the mind of the consumer to start to say, I'm seeking out Nigerian brand.
Good morning, welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. The hot topic for today is, do Tinubu and Shettima's trip threatens public funds accountability? Since the swearing in of the president and vice president in their 17th month in office, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima undertook 41 trips across 26 countries, collectively spending 180 days or 6 months on foreign engagement. Analysis shows that Tinubu with longer mileage has logged 124 days abroad, visiting 16 countries on 29 trips. He has also accumulated over 127 flight hours. So far, the president has visited Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, London, the United Kingdom 4 times, Guinea-Bissau twice, Nairobi, Kenya, Porto Novo, Benin Republic, The Hague, Netherlands, Pretoria, South Africa, Accra, Ghana, New Delhi, India, Abu Dhabi, and Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, New York, and the United States of America, Saudi Arabia twice, Berlin, Germany, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Dhaka, Senegal, and Doha, Qatar. Meanwhile, Shettima has spent 56 days abroad, visiting 10 countries on 12 unique and recurrent trips. He has also accumulated over 93 flight hours. Shettima has also visited Rome, Italy, St. Petersburg, Russia, Johannesburg, South Africa, Havana, Cuba, Beijing, China, Iowa, and New York in the United States of America, Davos, Switzerland, Yamoussoukro, Ivory Coast twice, Nairobi, Kenya, Stockholm, and Sweden. So today we want to understand these frequent trips that we've been having. Is it threatening public funds accountability, and what's the reason for these frequent trips? God's Riti, I see you laughing and giggling as I'm mentioning different countries. First of all,
it's so funny.
how many have you visited?
To be honest with you, I don't think I've left Lagos for over 20 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think maybe you should start thinking of being in the
thing
presidential
is,
space, because it looks like it's a perk now that comes with it, you get free travel allowance.
I mean,
what do you have to say about this frequent
let's come back with what you said. Did they give them free
Please
travel?
don't quote me.
No,
Don't dare to do that.
That is where that's my problem from initials. Like, I want to understand it, right?
There are
So
actually
is it
travel
that-
allowances that are allocated to people in governmental offices that I read somewhere.
Is it constitutionally granted? I want to understand that.
We're going to need an expert to help us with that.
Hey,
Probably some more research.
These are like questions, yeah? So is it constitutionally granted, right? That's number one. So number two, at what basis do they even, do they travel? Is it that when they feel like, okay, it's time
to go.
the way it's looking right now, the country is too hot, we need to go chill. I need to understand it, right? So is it that, like I said, what basis, right? So are they traveling for work? Is this something that's related to the country, or is it for personal benefits? We need to understand that as well, right? He just came back from the 2 weeks leave, even though there is fire in Nigeria. That's just me being very literally now based now. Okay, so I just need to understand these things first, because I feel like that is where we would start having this conversation from. Before we not talk about the fact that, is there accountability? They say there is difference between you being honest and you being transparent, right? So I think it's honesty that is taking place. For us to know that we are the president and the vice president, they are going to... Someone was complaining over the weekend. Tell me why both the president and the vice president are living together and they are not in the country. But again, is that something that we should be bothered about? What do you think? Do you think it's something that we should be bothered about?
Something to be bothered about.
Tell me.
Let me give you a more relatable example.
No, I did not say I'm against or for, because we are coming for that.
No, me, because I've been looking at it.
I just want to hear your perspective.
I want to be very objective, right? I know that they're entitled to travel, and of course, if you're going to be the number one and number two of a nation, it means that you relate on international levels a whole lot. You have to travel across your continent and other people. You have to meet other presidents, the United Nations. Different responsibilities come up, and that is notable. It's very good. But there's the relatable analogy I want to give you. Now, let's say, I want to say two of us, but let me not cause some chaos right here.
Why are you scared?
In a typical family, right, there's a father and a mother. Let's imagine there's chaos already in the house, there's chaos in the home.
Fire.
There's fire. Things are not going properly, right? The children are helter-skelter. And then that's when the father and mother know that they want to take a break, or they probably want to travel to attend, even if it is work, to something overseas, or maybe in Port Harcourt or Abuja, and they're in Lagos.
Outside the state.
Other people, even though the claim might be that this is also very urgent to attend to, how are they going to be viewed? As probably not interested or a bit irresponsible in court. Why? Because there is actually fire in your house. There's a lot to attend to. There's a lot left unattended to. Why is it now that you think it is very appropriate to attend to other matters that you also claim are important? Do you understand?
But again, that's where delegated authority comes in. So what if there's some, again, that's why I'm saying that we are just on the whole honesty, whatever. There's no transparency, right? So it is one thing for them to say, okay, wherever they're going to, they need to be there, it's urgent and all of that. What if they have delegated their part to someone else to watch over the nation?
But no matter how much you delegate something, there's still the part where you have to be physically available to ensure that whatever you've delegated,
it depends on how long they're living for. Don't you think?
Okay, did you see the analysis? Did you see the analysis I gave you right now?
Yeah,
They've had a lot of travels in just 17 months in office. There's something I was going to check. I wanted to relate this to other travels done by other governors and presidents, but I couldn't get that fast. When I
Statistics.
do, I'll probably let you know. But I'm wondering why. But on the flip side, let us now see what these people are entitled to. All right.
I'd like to hear that.
I'll read it for you. Please permit my slowness. It says living presidents and their deputies are at the expense of the federal government entitled to at least 6 security details and personal aids, well-furnished office, and a 5-bedroom apartment in any location of their choice.
5-bedroom apartment. Makageni, what are they using it for?
God's beauty.
No, this is me just being an evil woman. But
please,
let's be for real now.
5-bedroom is not bad. I mean, it's okay.
Okay.
You're saying this because you're not the president, so your husband is not the president yet. All right, in any location of their choices, vehicles replaceable every 4 years. You get
so
that?
There's no specific amount to how much the vehicle should cost?
I don't know that. Diplomatic passport for life.
Okay, go on.
Free medical treatment, which may be abroad where necessary, for themselves and their immediate families. 30 days, all expense paid annual vacation within and outside the country. So that means some of their travels would also need them to attend to their health. So sometimes it's not only economic issues. I mean, I think it was one time I was hearing that the president had some health challenges and he had to travel. So it's included here. What do you have to say? Why are you laughing?
I say I don't even know why I'm laughing. To be
why
honest.
are you laughing?
So I like I said with this note, right, that there's honesty, but we need transparency. It is you being honest for us to know that, oh, you're traveling, at least you're not sneaking out and we're wondering what's going on with the country and where's our president, right? That's you being honest. But you being transparent is we understanding what it is exactly. You're telling us that you're giving like I think yearly whatever now is backed up, right? We need to know how many times in that year you are supposed to travel. It's just 18 months on seat, and you don't travel many times. How many countries? We need to understand that there's difference between you going on vacation, you having health challenges and going to check yourself, and you traveling for work. These things need to be specified. Do you get what I'm saying? Then speaking of the car. How many things have you bought since, let me not say bought, because it's making it look like I buy them. But I mean, I'm talking about the citizens of Nigeria.
They have been purchased.
Do you get what I'm saying? We've had the presidential car, you've had presidential yacht, presidential jet. I mean, a whole lot of presidential, right? So we need to understand what's the amount that's allocated to the president to get, a certain car. What kind of car are we even talking about? Because you will be doing, because it's the president, we have to now buy a very expensive car when you know that the country cannot even afford it. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes, now let's be for real.
Okay.
The country cannot afford it. If we can afford it, then nobody will be complaining about hunger. Just yesterday now, yesterday was Enters. Well, we didn't even make mention of that. Yesterday was remembrance memorial. And memorial and all of that. Yeah, and I think about 20 people were arrested when they came to the toll gates to
do the memorial there.
I'm not joking. About 20 persons were arrested. And I don't know if they are released now or not, right? But you not see those people do those things if everything is okay in the country.
Did they threaten peace? Was it like...
To be honest, I don't even know what it's like. But I know that when I was coming to the island yesterday, I was even surprised. At first, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Why is the whole place full with forces and all? Not until I checked like Instagram and all, I started getting that okay, people actually even came there, to do the whole memorial, whatever, right? But again, it's not even, I don't know what they did, so I mean, I cannot even start fighting for them now. But what am I saying? Nobody would come out to come and protest, and there will not be riots if everything is going smooth in the country. So we need to understand how much that there is being, allocated for all these things. So that, I mean, we need proper accountability here. You cannot just say, okay, we are the president, so we are supposed to get this and this and this. We need to understand where exactly the amounts are. Do you get what I'm saying? And this thing needs to be constitutionally backed because, I mean, nobody's above the law according to you people, right? So we need to be understanding these things. The amounts need to be on the what's the name now? In the Constitution. We need to be seeing it, please.
Do you think that even if there is accountability and transparency, it keeps these people on their toes? Because, I mean, with the newspaper that we've been reading, we've been seeing the billions of dollars they're taking for loans, and we see where this money is meant to be allocated to. They've been transparent in that sense to let us know that, okay, we took this amount of loans, we took these billions and millions
They're
of
just being
naira.
honest.
So, even if we're clamoring for this whole transparency, accountability, do you think it will really keep them on their toes? Or they'll be like, okay, you know the amount, what's my business?
That's the problem. But me, I'm always on. May no, I feel like most of like the kind of character or the behavior I see from them is may not be like say we no show now, may not be like say we no do this, may not be like say because the truth is if they want to actually behave like the way they are supposed to normal, there's nothing we can do. Do you get what I'm saying? Is it there's always clamoring on hope and all of that, but the truth is there's nothing
I would
we
always
can
do that. I would always clamor
there's
on
nothing we can do because it is one thing to keep complaining about certain things and you see that these things are not even worked on. Right? But I just feel like if you want to be honest, be honest, finish. That's my own. Like if you want to say, if you're saying that, oh, the president has the right to this, has the right to that, has the right to this, let us know it's finished. Like give it to us complete.
You know, you
Let's
were asking
see what
for
it is
facts
exactly.
the other time, right? So I think I got something for you. It says the Constitution requires the president to write the National Assembly, informing it of his plan to proceed on vacation. And sometimes it is unclear if he did or not. So it says Section 145(1) states that whenever the president transmits to the president of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Rep a written declaration that he's proceeding on vacation or that he is otherwise unable to discharge the functions of his office until he transmits them to them a written declaration to the contrary, such function shall be discharged by the vice president as acting president. The second states, in the event that the president is unable or fails to transmit the written declaration mentioned in subsection 1 of this section within 21 days, the National Assembly shall, by a resolution made by a simple majority of the vote of each house of the National Assembly, mandate the vice president to perform the functions of the office of the president as acting president until the president transmits a letter and blah, blah. Let me go to this next paragraph. This president, okay, he was talking about when he recently returned. So it states here that, of course, he's supposed to put it in document, in writing and all of that. But here, the story that we've seen so far is that the president and the vice concurrently have been having frequent trips. I mean, it's okay that one person is going frequently, but at least one person should be on standby, as we would always use. But now, I also looked at it in this other way. Do you think that as we are as a nation, with the way things are going and the way it's been a bit bleak for the longest, do you think that international intervention is one of the reasons why they're probably traveling? In the sense that there's a lot of fire in your house and like, oh my God, I need help. I'm just using a lot of literal examples and illustrations to paint it the way I can imagine. And then
if it is in this sense, where you're going outside the country to meet these international bodies now to come and help the country, that's quite different. And I don't think that's what the situation is, honestly. Because if it's a case where you're traveling outside the country to speak to international bodies, the Westerners that, oh, okay, we need help and all of that, come and assist us, I don't think we'll be where we are right now. Maybe they have told us now that 100 years is what we need for us to be elevated and corruption-free.
First of all, I don't know how they come about those their predictions.
So I feel like if you've spoken, if for real now, if you've spoken to the international bodies on time, I don't think we'll be where we are. I remember speaking to you guys, this was the news, I think earlier this year, right, where there was kidnap and all of that in the northern area.
I think we need to take a break now. So sorry to cut your flow of thought. Please, let's take a short break. When we return, we'll look through what we have here for you. Please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Good morning and welcome back. We have our guest here with us. His name is Mr. Olubenga George. He is a public affairs analyst, a social commentator, a journalist, and a friend of the house. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Lucy. Good to be here.
Wow, I didn't get that. It was very, it attacked us so much. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for always coming around and just always being a part of the show. Like I said, you're a friend of the house and we always like it with you. Today or earlier, we've been discussing the accountability and transparency gap in our nation generally, especially when it comes to our leaders. We've seen in recent times how that Tinubu and Shettima have had frequent trips, and we've been, God's beauty and I on this table, we've been trying to bring different angles to these things. Maybe it's international intervention, maybe it's health, maybe it's in the constitution. But I want to hear an expert view, sir. What do you believe is the primary purpose of Tinubu and Shettima's frequent foreign trips? Are they primarily diplomatic, economic, or is just something else? All right, it seems our guest is not here, technical issues. So let's go back to what I was saying. My question said, are they primarily diplomatic, economic, or something else? But in the order of priority, what do you think should be the most important?
It's as simple as that. The fact that you're a president, I'm not sure you are there because we want you to be there. We are there because we need someone to govern the rest of us, right? We need someone that would come and serve us, someone that would protect us, help us with insecurity, help us with everything that is facing the economy right now, right? The fact that there's hunger in the land, that's something that you're supposed to be concerned about. So I am looking forward to where the president is saying that, okay, this is what we have done so far, not giving us initiative that there's no implementation. I'm talking about having the right initiatives and giving us, the good implementations, right, towards that, thing. Now, but what we've seen over time is, just was it last week Friday, talking about the whole initiative that they had after the last address that the president gave us, and like, okay, we are going to be speaking to the youth and all of that. So it's one thing to have this kind of initiative, it's another thing to start putting this into implementation, like having a proper structure to it. Okay, how is it going to be like? What is it looking like, right? So
you know what? I want to even look at it this way. Some of the reasons why they travel, at least it was a rumor, we don't know how true it was, that the president had to travel at a point because of health issues. And I think somebody has mentioned over time that if we have our president always, or maybe even anybody generally, your first health help in that sense is abroad. It shows how much of a decline we have in our own nation. So I'm like, okay, this whole passion that we have to always fly people abroad, go to India for the best of surgery, go to America to give birth and all of that. I don't know, the whole money that is pumped into that, because I know any flight, any international flight it's not mean. Especially we've heard of the whole private jet thing. It's just recently that we heard that the people that own these private jets, they've not paid some revenues or something, and some of them will be grounded. Then we heard again they've been giving 30 days extension. So it shows that a lot of money is being pumped into this. Sometimes when you sort some things that are in your house and you sort it well, you might not even have a lot of reasons to always be going abroad there. And this is something we always mention all the time. It's a bit sad that our health sector is bad. People can't, it's not like the doctors don't want to, but we do not have the equipment. We do not have the things that can help us achieve this. And you see people just dying. And of course, if the president has health issues, he's not going to trust his nation's
and when he's putting 2%, what are you expecting? I don't understand.
So imagine if that's what we're talking about accountability and transparency. So I want to even ask you, how do you think, what's the way forward with this whole accountability and transparency thing?
Did you say way forward?
You don't think you have such authority to mention? Of course you do. You're a proud citizen of Nigeria.
You are the whole personnel, right? So to be honest, this is not even about the hope thing now. This is me being for real, right? Let me start with this. According to Chapter 6, Section 188 of the 99 Constitution, as amended, right? We talk about the removal of the president. No, I want to start on this note. Now, if we see that the president is not doing well, right, we can actually take him out from seat. The National Assembly has the power to do that. That's the Senate, right? They have the power to do that. But in the same constitution that allows the president to choose the kind of people that he wants to be on seat, that's the kind of people that should be in the National Assembly. If he has already chosen the kind of people that will be there, that means nobody can actually take him out of seat, right? So this whole accountability, whatever, it is actually supposed to start from the constitution, because that is what is guiding, guiding every citizen of Nigeria, including the people in power. That's both the legislative, the executive, the judiciary, everybody. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, if that particular constitution that is supposed to be worked on by the legislature, and the kind of people that are there are now people that are already in favor or are like people that are in support of, the system, then nothing can be done. Because the accountability, whatever is supposed to be, like I said, it's supposed to be worked on by the legislature. But if the legislature cannot, if the people that we have there cannot work, they cannot work on it, then I don't know where we are supposed to be finding accountability. The truth is, we'll just keep talking. And that's the only thing we can do. Until probably God intervene and we have the right people on set that are ready to serve, that understands the nature of their job. They understand what's serving, what's being a senator, what being the president, what being the governor is. Not people that are there for their pockets or for the third generation, their third generation. Do you get what I'm saying? So I will also continue with, the constitution also needs to be worked on. But again, until we have the right people on set.
On set. Honestly, that's just the whole truth. I'm going to speak from the other angle of the media and representation of certain facts. I mean, sometimes I feel like some of these facts don't line up. That's why even when you check the internet or you read several stories and details from different platforms, there's always this gap somewhere else. And we do not know if it is entirely based on the bias that some of these media houses have, or if it is based on the fact that some of these people in power also have their own special aids that are... Is it media aids now or something? They have some, so that means they are the ones that are also going to put the narrative that they want into the media.
Exactly.
So honestly, accountability and transparency, the way we can have access to it is via channels of information, which includes the media. It's not like you're going to walk into the president, the Aso Rock house, and you want to know what's going on there. So I don't know. Honestly, I think
now you see
at this point.
You see the angle I'm coming from. If you're talking about the whole law thing, if the people that are supposed to be working on it are already in support of the government or the current government, right, then how do you think the constitution will be worked on? You talk about the media whole thing. The same, some of these people that are in power are literally the owners of some of these media stations. So you know exactly.
And
so
some of these special aides or the media representative of these people are younger people.
God bless you.
Like you and I.
So how do you think we'll be able to get accountability and transparency? We'll just keep talking. But probably, maybe on this one, I should be supporting that, we need to pray harder.
This is one conversation that we can only just share our own view and opinions of it based on what we think should be or should not be. But the truth is, we do not have the real answers to this question.
No, we know what it is. It's not like we don't know. We know the answers. Don't do that.
Me, I don't have the answers.
Until we have the right people, baby. Steve, we know these things. We are just trying to be, I don't even know if it's to say, probably living in Delulu or trying to be like, okay, we don't know it. Or we know these things. We know how these things work.
You're so bold, you know.
I don't understand. We're not supposed to be bold.
I like that. We need you on this show. Okay, this is where we're going to wrap it up. Unfortunately, our guest could not stay with us. A little bit of technical issues, but of course tomorrow we'll be here again 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. as we discuss trending social issues. Please be with us tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?